What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today we're going to be flying the PMDG 737 from Burbank, California to Phoenix, Arizona. We are flying a real flight. You can go on Flight Aware and check up the flight and the flight path and all the information on the one that I'm flying now. I'll put a link in the description for you. We're flying Southwest Airlines flight number 351. We do have the scenery for Burbank, as you could tell. I haven't done anything in the plane, so we'll go ahead and hop inside of it and we will start our pre-flight checklist and start getting ourselves ready. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to toggle on our park and brake. We'll go to the overhead panel here. We're going to switch on our battery switch. We'll get our electric hydraulic pumps turned on. Our ground power we will connect to. We're now on our ground power. Our landing gear lever is down. We'll jump down here and we will do our tests. That is good. We'll go ahead and do our fire test. Click that off and we are good. There's also a switch over here, which I think this just tests these lights. Not 100% sure. We have a airspeed warnings. Stall warning test. Never seems to work for me. I don't know why. But our flaps. And that is all the tests that I know of, at least. So our position lights and our wing lights need to come on. Position lights, wing lights can come on. Our engine bleed switches are already on. Our IRSs can get set to nav. Our yaw damper can come on. We'll turn that on in a minute. Our emergency exit lights, our no smoking, and our seatbelt signs can come on. Our flap lever's down. Speed brake lever is down. Galley switch is on. Window heats can come on. And we are ready to start programming our FMC. But we'll go to flight FS actions. I guess flight sim actions, would that be? We'll go to payload, and today is going to be for a zero fuel weight 115.9. So 115.9. We'll drop that in there. There we are. We'll go return. We'll go to fuel. Our block fuel is 14,805. 14,805. We'll drop that in there. We're good to go. We'll go back to menu. We'll go to FMC. We'll go to position in it. We're going to go KBUR as our reference airport. And we'll go to the second page. We'll grab our left GPS and we'll drop that in here. We are now configured as far as our position. And we will start our flight plan. So we're going to KBUR to KPHX. Our flight number is SWA for Southwest Airlines 351. Go ahead and do 351. We'll drop that in there. Very simple flight plan today. We're doing 3 waypoints: Heck, Perfume, and Watro. And then we're just doing a departure and an arrival. So very simple. We should get out of here very quickly today. So we'll go HEC, drop that in there. PRFUM, PRFUM, we'll drop that in there. And WOTRO. WOTRO. That's our flight plan right there. So we'll go ahead and go to departure and arrival. We're going to be departing runway 15, the SLAPS 2, and the Heck transition. So departing runway 15, SLAP 2, Heck transition. Go back to departure and arrival. Our arrival is going to be ILS 26, and it is going to be the Bruiser 1 for 26 and the Wotro, however you say it, transition. We'll go back to route, activate, execute. We'll take a look at our legs here. We'll leave that as is for now, but that's going to change because we're not going to do a direct to, or a vector, I'm sorry. And then here, we'll put this here. We'll close that. We're good. We'll go back to legs. We'll jump back here. We'll set this to plan mode. And we'll step through this flight to make sure we are all set. So we'll do a direct to that once we depart. And we will follow this all the way down and around. There we are. We'll get lined up. And we will land. Everything there looks good. Great. So we'll jump back down here. We'll go to init ref. Our zero fuel weight again is 115.9. Put that in there. We did 1,000 gallons or 1,000 pounds in reserves, and we'll do a cost index of 3.5. Our cruise winds Well, our altitude, first of all, is going to be 330. And let's figure out what our cruise winds are going to be. 040 at 016. 040 at 16 knots. Not too bad. Pretty smooth. Do an N1 limit. We'll do takeoff configuration 1. We'll go takeoff. We're going to go to the second page here. And let's get our local MEDAR real quick. We're looking at 130 at 9. 130 at 9. Or a runway. We'll go back one page. We're going to do flaps 5, which will generate our trim 6.5. And then our V1, VR, and V2 speeds. That looks good. Did we not hit execute on this again? Oh, there we go. Execute. And then N1 limit, takeoff. Okay, everything looks good. Our altimeter here is 2982. So we'll jump out of here. We'll set that real quick. 2982. There we are. Our altimeter is set. And I think we are done with this for now. So we'll jump back out of here and we can start our before checks. Well, no, actually, we can't do that yet. I'm lying. We have to do our approach information. So runway 26. Let's jump down here, pull up our chart for runway 26. We'll put in our localizer, our final course. We'll put in our airport elevation, and we'll put in our barometer. I think we're going to use a radio, so we'll go 250 on the radio today. So let's get all of that set up. We'll start out with the radios, which will come down here. It's going to be 111.75. So 111.75. And we'll switch this over 111.75. There we are. Our final approach course is going to be 258. Go ahead and get that set. 258. We'll set it on this side as well. 258. 133 on this. All right, our airport elevation is 1135. So we'll set this for our landing elevation to 1150. And our altitude is going to be 330. We'll come down here. We'll also set it here. There we are, 330. And our landing is going to be 250 on the radio. I'm going to change this to radio, and we'll do 250 on that. So we'll scroll this up to 250. There we are. And that is all set. I think we're good to go as far as that goes. I think we're ready for our before start check. So our FMC is programmed. Our flight directors 1 and 2 can come on. Our auto throttle switch can stay off. Our speed is set. Our heading is set. Our altitude is set. Our autopilot disengage bar is up. Our thrust levers are idle. Stabilizer trim was 6.5. So we'll scroll that down to 6.5. There's 5. There's 5.5. There's 6. And we'll eyeball 6.5 right around there. All right. Our auto brakes can get set to RTO for rejected takeoff. We can go to the overhead panel and we can get our APU started. So we'll start you. Our APU bleed can come on. And our generator switches will come on here shortly. In the meantime, we'll jump down here and set this to standby and run a test on it. So we're waiting for the call out to let us know that was successful.
TCAS test pass.
All right, we are good there. Go to the overhead panel. We'll toggle this yaw damper on. I think it'll stay on now. There we are. So we're waiting for our APU to stabilize right here. Went up to 8,000. It's going to come down to 4,000. It'll stabilize at 4,000. As soon as that happens, we will go on our APU generator. And mountains look really good out there. It looks really cool. We'll go on our APU generator and get rid of our ground power unit and remove the wheel chocks. Get ready for pushback. So that should be just about ready here in a second. There it is. We're good to go. So we'll go on APU 1 and APU 2. We're now on our APU generator. Transponder is set. So we are ready for our before pushback checks, which is fuel pumps can come on. APU generator switches on. We did that. Seatbelt signs are on. Flight deck doors and windows locked. Ground equipment disconnect and anti-collision stuff off. So we'll come down here. We'll get our ground equipment removed. We'll go FS actions, ground services. We'll release the ground power unit. We'll set the wheel chocks. And I think we are good to go. All right, we are ready for our pushback. So we'll go ahead and set this to our left ignition. We'll get our left engine going here in just 1 second. Let's go ahead and call for our pushback. There it goes. And we'll get our left engine going up now. We're going to push back to the left here, I believe. Let's take a look at the taxi chart here. Yeah, we're going to cross right behind us and go all the way up to runway 15 there. Hold on, let's get our fuel introduced here. And we'll get our parking brake off so that our pushback can move us. We're not going to push back too far. It's a very short area to push back, as you can see. And our taxi line is literally right behind us. We'll let our engine come up. As soon as our wing is just about over that taxi line, we'll stop the pushback. In the meantime, we'll get our second engine going. There we are. So we can go ahead and stop the pushback there. Toggle our parking brake on. We'll keep an eye on our N2 here. And we're going to put fuel in just a second. 14, 15, 16, 17. And we'll put the fuel in. There we are. Engine is coming up. So we'll let that engine come up and stabilize. And then we will do our after start checks. It's looking like a pretty good flight so far. It's clear skies. I don't think there's much weather in between us and the airport we're flying to. There is like a severe heat warning in effect for the area of Phoenix and all out there in that area. We're hitting like 106, 110 degrees. It's crazy. It's getting hot out there. Our engine should be stabilizing here. I don't know why my screen flickered like that when I clicked on my other monitor. So we'll go overhead here. We're going to go engine generator switches 1 and 2. 1 and 2. We're now off our APU. So our APU bleed can come off. Our isolation valve can go to auto. Our packs can go to auto. And we can toggle off our APU. Our probe heats 1 and 2 can come on. Everything else looks good. We're not using ice or de-ice. We'll do a master caution recall. We're good and clear both sides. And we will set our transponder here to TARA. All right, we're ready for taxi. So we'll do taxi lights can come on. Taxi lights on. Runway turnoff lights can come on. Flaps can be set to 5. Flight controls. Left, right, forward, back, rudder. Free and clear. Whoop. I just accidentally hit G on my keyboard, which put the landing gear up there. We're good for taxi. So we'll go ahead and release our brake. We'll give it full left rudder to try and make this turn here. And let's get going. Look at that. Under 15 minutes. And we are on our way to the runway. Beautiful. Went very smooth today. Man, those mountains look great. I'm excited to see how this looks once we're over top of all this. Well, here we are. We're going to cross the runway here. We'll make this left turn and we're going to follow this down to runway 15. Just getting my feet on the rudder pedals here. And I think we're good. I think everything is set. We're ready for takeoff. So let's get out to that runway. If you guys are enjoying this, feel free to leave a like. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And if there's anywhere you want me to fly, drop it in the comments. Let me know. I'll try and do that for you. All right, we'll give a little bit more throttle here now that we made that turn. We'll get ourselves down to this next taxiway here. Get our ground speeds up a little bit here. All right, we'll bring that down now. And we're going to make a right up here and follow that down to Alpha 1 and get on the runway. Did a beautiful job with this scenery. I should start flying the smaller aircrafts like the CJ4. Start flying to smaller airports. I was flying around today in the Cessna 172. It's a pretty easy plane to fly. It's very slow, but it's a very easy plane to fly. Could make for some really cool small airport flights. Have to find some really cool airports to fly out of. Case, K-A-S-E, is one of my favorite airports that I've found so far. Very beautiful departure, man. The mountains there look absolutely awesome. I don't think you would fly a 737 out of there, though. I think you might fly a CRJ, which I do have the CRJ. And I do enjoy flying that. However, it's I don't like not having auto throttle. I love having auto throttle, and the CRJ doesn't have that. The CJ4 is great. I use the CJ4 working title mod, which they did a really good job in making that plane a little bit more real to life, a little more accurate. And I really do enjoy flying that. Just gonna keep taxiing up here. We're not making this left. We're gonna make the next left, and that will be where we're gonna jump on the runway. We'll hold short there and do our before takeoff checks. And we'll get out of here. We'll get out. We will get out of here. Get out of Burbank. Very hazy. I don't know if these are just clouds or if it's haze. But like I said, I know Phoenix and Arizona and all that is experiencing some pretty crazy heat right now. Lots of heat warnings going on out there. We'll start slowing down here because we're going to make this turn. There we are. All right, and this is where we are jumping on. And we will go ahead and hold short here for just a minute. Whoa, swung that around a little quick there. All right, we'll do our before takeoff checks, which is auto throttle can come on. Engine switches can be set to continuous. Master caution recall. Transponder is set. Landing lights. Got the old-fashioned landing lights today. And strobe lights, we already have them set on. So we're good to go. We'll release our brake and we'll pull ourselves out onto the runway here. And yeah, we did set our flaps. There we are. We'll get ourselves lined up. All right, and we are ready for departure. We'll go ahead and hit our toga switch. We'll go ahead and push our nose down just a little bit, keep it on the ground. Listen for our call outs. And I'm kicking in some right rudder here. Not a whole lot. 80 knots cross checked. V1. Rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. All right, very well done so far. We'll go ahead and bring our flaps to 1. And as our speeds continue, we'll bring our flaps all the way in. We're gonna go VNAV and LNAV. We'll go ahead and go autopilot on. We'll go back into VNAV mode. And we have to jump down here. We'll move this guy. Legs. And we're gonna go right to here. We'll move that up there and we'll go ahead and click execute. And we should make our way over to that waypoint. Let's try and switch views here. There's the ground in Burbank. Let me jump up here real quick. I need to move this down. We'll do our after departure checks here in just a second. There's another wing view. Very nice. Already coming out through the clouds here. Pretty good departure. We're going to be turning onto our waypoint here, which is pretty much a full U-turn. That's what we're doing. Very nice. We'll keep on climbing out. All right, let's jump back up here. We're going to set our auto brakes back to off instead of RTO. Our taxi lights can come off. Our flaps are up and our landing gear is up. That is our after takeoff checks. And we'll do our climb checks once we hit 10,000. And let's figure out where we are here. All right, there we are. So we're turning onto course. There's our first waypoint that we're going to be heading to. We're climbing through 7,000 in just a second here. Hop into a wing view again. Beautiful Burbank down there. Nice clouds. Looks really nice. The mountains out there look really good. Very nice departure. We'll continue our way up. We're looking at about an hour and 13 minutes airtime, which will be a time lapse for you guys. Jump back in that wing view. We're about to level off here in a second. Beautiful ground details down there. The mountains look awesome. Really, really, really cool airport to fly out of. So we're going to intercept our course at 45 degrees. So we are now heading towards our course. About to cross over 10,000. There we are. So our climb checks, our landing lights can come off. We'll leave them. I guess we'll retract them. I hate these lights. I should have switched it to the LED lights before I started recording. Engine start switches can go to off. Engine, wing, and anti-ice. Every time I click off the screen, it doesn't usually do that. It's giving me that flicker. Anyway, that's fine. We're at 11,000. I believe we are climbing for... I guess we have to be at 7,000 once we get there, but we don't have constraints on it. We're not flying with ATC today, so that is okay. We cleared ourselves all the way up to 33,000. Normally, we would have held ourselves at 7,000, but we didn't have to do that today. So we're crossing 12,000 now. There's another wing view. Beautiful mountain range. Clouds inside the mountains. Man, that looks really good. Be cool to fly a small airplane around here. Or a helicopter. Which I do want to do. So hopefully in the near future I will do that. Jump back up here. I'm going to stay with you until about 18,000. Our transition altitude. We're over 10,000 and we're climbing fine, so we'll go ahead and toggle our seatbelts off. We'll let them do what they want. Coming up on 15,000 here. Once we get to our cruise altitude, we have to do seatbelt signs. We've already done that. Air conditioning and pressures checked, and wing anti-ice. We're not doing any anti-ice because it is damn near a heat wave out here, so we don't have to worry about that. Crossing 15,000 now. Looks like we are now lined up with our waypoints and on course. We'll continue this right turn out. Let's zoom this out a little bit. And then we're just pretty much flying north of Phoenix and then turning down and flying south into Phoenix. Pretty easy flight. Like I said, this is a real FlightAware flight. It is Southwest Airlines 351 if you guys want to look it up. I will put it in the description. Anytime I fly real flights or one that I got off FlightAware, the same path and altitude and airline, I do put it in the description for you guys to click on and take a look at. Here we are coming up on 17,000. We're getting close to our 18,000. We're cleared above 18,000. So we'll go ahead and set ourselves into standard mode now. We are going to be doing the time lapse in this window view today. If you guys prefer a wing view or a window view, feel free to let me know in the description, and I'll try and toggle back and forth between which ones you guys like. And yeah, we're gonna climb up to 33,000, and I will jump back on here and talk to you guys when we're closer to our descent. I hope you enjoy the flight. Alright guys, welcome back. We have started our descent. We are crossing 19,500 now. We are on our arrival, so we will start our descent checks. First thing we need to do is well, it says that we can get our landing lights on because we're cleared all the way down, so we'll do that now. Our altimeter is going to be 2974, so we'll go ahead and get that set. We'll come out of standard mode. We'll 29er and 74 is going to be our altimeter. Our seatbelt signs, we'll go ahead and toggle them back on. Seatbelt signs are now on. Our air conditioning and pressures are good. Our wing and anti-ice is as required. Or we just did our altitude, our transition altitude. Our ATIS we've got, and our engine start switches can be set to continuous. We'll jump down here and we'll make sure we set this to approach. We're gonna do 30-degree flaps, 132 knots. Go ahead and drop that in there. So this will be 132 plus 5. We'll go ahead and jump back here. Everything seems to be going pretty well. Once we get to 10,000, we'll do our approach checks. Let's jump into a wing view here. Awesome mountain ranges out there. Looks really good coming in here. This approach should be really cool. I do like it so far. Here is our chart and where we're at on our chart. You know, here's our whole flight. So we're gonna fly just down here between these mountain ranges. We'll keep going down, and then we're gonna make a left-hand turn. Once we're here, we'll make a loop around. We'll line up with the runway and we'll land. We're actually not too far from our landing. I'd say within the next 10-15 minutes or so, we'll be on the ground. We are at 17,100 now, and let's just check our legs here. It looks like all our speeds are put in here. 137 is going to be our landing speed. Everything looks good. We set our altitude down to 3,000. That is our intercept altitude, excuse me, for the ILS. There is not a Cat 3 landing here, so we'll just fly the ILS down, you know, to a certain point, I guess 500 feet or so, and then we will hand fly it down to the ground. Very good flight, very smooth. I didn't see too much turbulence. Actually, I don't think I saw any turbulence this flight at all. Not a whole lot of clouds either, so you guys should have a good view of the ground during that time lapse, which I hope you guys did enjoy. But yeah, we're on our descent. We're about to cross over 16,000 now. Got about 5,000 more to go before we start our approach checks, which will be pretty simple. We'll just go landing lights, which we already did, auto brakes, decision height set, master caution recall, missed approach altitude, speed brakes, flaps, landing gear, and taxi light switches. The last 4, speed brake, flaps, landing gear, and taxi light switches, I will wait until we're on final to do that. Honestly, I think we can wait until we're on final to do all of them, because we have our landing lights on, so that's probably what we'll do. Oh, there's a nice little jolt of turbulence there. Let's take a look out the left window. Very cool, man. It looks really nice flying out here. It's a lot better than flying in other areas where it's just completely flat. Let's cycle through these and get back to the... That's a cool view. Let's get back to that right wing view. There we are. So we're still on autopilot. The plane's managing everything for us, including our descent. We are watching our descent rate to make sure we're descending appropriately. If the plane wasn't descending appropriately, there's a couple different things we could do. We could add speed brakes if we need to get down quicker. I guess we could add speed if we wanted to slow down our descent. We could also go into level change mode and manually manage our altitudes and speeds. Yeah, there's a lot of things we could do, but the plane seems to be handling it pretty well on its own, so we don't have to tinker with any of that. Very good flight. If you guys are enjoying this, be sure to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Brand new channel, so I would appreciate any subscriptions. I am going to start doing, well, I would like to start doing, I guess my plan for this channel is to do flights with ATC on VATSIM. I also want to fly some smaller aircrafts and go into smaller airports and more scenic areas. I believe I'm going to possibly do some helicopter tours around certain cities, specific cities, which I'd be willing to take requests for. Also, some other games I would like to add to the channel too. I do have some golfing games with a couple buddies, which is just hilarious. But maybe Space Engineers, Kerbal Space Program, My Summer Car. There's a lot of stuff I like to play. Farming Sim maybe. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying this, you know, feel free to subscribe. I've never been to Phoenix in real life. I don't think I've ever actually flown in or out of this airport in the sim either. So this will be the first time for me going to this airport. You can see down here, we're going to go straight, then we're going to make a left. By the time we circle out that left, or, you know, level out that turn, we're going to immediately make a right. And then we should be able to get locked onto the ILS somewhere around there. At that point, we will be 6,000 feet, it looks like, or 4,000 feet. So, yeah. We are coming in over Phoenix now. You'll start to see, as you can see down there, some neighborhoods and stuff. You'll start to see some actual housing and everything as we come into the city here. I really enjoy doing this view for our time lapse. I think it gives you the best view of like the ground and the clouds and, you know, the route and everything. I think it looks really nice. I'm not sure where the airport is. I think it's going to be like somewhere over there possibly. Maybe there. It's off slightly to our right. So, I'm not sure. I think it's like over here. So we're going to go down, left, circle around, and then line up with the airport. If anybody watching this is from Burbank, California, or Phoenix, drop a comment. Let me know where you're from. Let me know if this looks like your area. You know, if you see anything you recognize, or you know how well modeled this is for you. Definitely be interested to know that. Looks like some baseball fields down there. There's an airport right over there. We'll just continue our way down. Here we are on our arrival chart, just to show you where we're at. We are not too far off from making that turn. Another couple minutes here and we'll make that turn. We just crossed our 10,000 mark, so our landing lights are on. We've already verified that. Our auto brakes will go ahead and get set to number 2. Master caution. We don't have any cautions or any warnings or anything. We're good. And all we have to do now is our speed brake, flaps, landing gear, and taxi lights. Which speed brake we could arm. We might end up, we may end up needing it. Who knows? We can arm it for now. You know, if we gotta unarm it, that's fine. We'll unarm it and use it. We are doing a flaps 30, which means we're gonna be landing at 137 knots. At 165 knots, we can fully extend our flaps. At 195 knots, we can go flaps 5. At 170, we can go flaps 20, I think. And then 160 something. It's like right here. 170, 25, 165, we can go 30. So there's that. We're flying at 240 knots now. We'll go ahead and get this zoomed in a little bit now that we're getting closer. You can see that hook we're about to do. Jump into a window view. You can see the highway and everything down there. Cool little mountains in the area. Those mountains don't look big from here, but I guarantee you down there, they're pretty massive. Welcome to Phoenix, Arizona. That looks like it could be like a mall or something down there. Some kind of shopping center or something. Alright, we'll jump back up here. Looks like our speeds are slowly starting to come down. We're at 230 knots. At our next waypoint, we're going to start dropping down to 210 knots. We're at 7,600 feet. Which I think is actually about 1,000 feet lower. If I remember correctly, because the ground was... Our landing altitude was like 1,100. So that's like 6,200 feet we are, maybe. I don't know, something like that. Looks like our speeds are starting to come down as it's required. I think it's going to come down to either 210 or 220. Starting that left turn. A lot of baseball fields down there. Look at all them baseball fields. Jeez. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Just 16 baseball fields. It looks like there's maybe a golf course over here too. That's pretty funny. So many baseball fields. Why do you need all those baseball fields? I still don't see the airport. It's a little bit behind us though. I know that. And in just a second here, we're going to start that right turn. And we'll go into speed intervene mode here in just a second. There we are. We're gonna go into speed intervene mode. We're gonna bring our speeds down to 195. That way we can get some flaps going here in just a minute, because we're gonna get locked onto the ILS soon. Looks like there's some more dirt baseball fields, maybe a track over here. It's funny. So many baseball fields out here. All right, so we have our localizer diamond coming in on the bottom here. We're not going to do it just yet, obviously. We are going to give some flaps just to get our speeds down if we can. We want to get down to 195, start getting some flaps extended. All right, we'll hold it there. Airport should be off to our right here. We do have the diamond. We don't have our glide slope diamond yet. We're gonna make a right turn here in just a minute. We'll go ahead and introduce a notch of flaps here as our speeds come down. We'll try and get ourselves down to about 175 if we can. Here we are. We are actually above the glide slope at the moment. So we'll go ahead and hit approach, see if we can't get onto that. And there we are. It looks like we are going to get onto that. We'll go ahead and give some flaps just to get us down a little bit more, because we're a little bit high on our glide slope. We don't want to slip too high above that. There we are. All right, we'll rearm our speed brake. There we are. We'll continue bringing our speeds down. We'll go to flaps 5 here. I did click speed intervene, right? Yeah. All right, we got the runway in front of us here. There's a wing view as we come in. We're set at flaps 5 currently. We'll go ahead and get our taxi lights turned on. We have our speed brake is set. Our flaps, we're working on our landing gear. Our taxi lights are on. We'll go ahead and drop our landing gear, and we need to get our speeds like way down. So 137. There we go. Now our speeds are coming down. We'll keep that drag going, get our flaps completely extended here. And our speeds are coming down nicely. We'll go ahead and get our feet on the rudder pedals here. There is beautiful Phoenix. Very nice. I'll jump back over here. Our flaps are fully set. Everything is good to go except our speed, which we're working on getting that down. Got it set to about 136. We're gonna go off the autopilot here in a minute. Looks like we got about a 5-knot headwind. We'll go ahead and disengage the autopilot. Yep, I know. All right, here we go. We are hand flying the plane now. We're a little bit low, so we'll nose up just a little bit here. Try and get back on that glide slope. There we are. We have auto throttle still doing our throttle for us. We're going to try and follow this glide slope right on down. Speeds are right on target. Come a little bit left here. There we are.
50, 30, 10,
Slight flare. And we are down. We'll go reverse thrust. We'll stay on that center line. And there we are. That was a beautiful landing. And I have no idea where we have to go. I didn't even look at the charts or anything. To get our reverse thrust off. Let me just go out here real quick. All right, we'll taxi off at, looks like the next left here. Whoop. I had to pull up our taxi chart. I never pulled it up, so I didn't know which way we had to exit. All right, we'll taxi off to the left here. Go ahead and slow down a little bit for this turn. Very good landing. Everything seemed to go very well in that landing. All right, so we'll go ahead and put in our brakes. And we'll hold short here and we'll do our after landing checks. So there we go. We'll put our brakes on. First thing I want to do real quick is pull up the taxi chart, see where we are. Airport info. Yes, okay. So we did exit the right way, thank goodness. All right, so let's get our after landing checks done. So our landing lights can come off. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our strobe lights off. Our taxi lights we can keep on. Our flaps we can set back to normal. Our speed brake lever can go back down. Our radio can be set to standby, or our transponder, I mean. We'll go over top here. Engine start switches can go to off. Wing anti-ice off. Stabilizer trim set APU. We can get started with the APU going on. We can turn our APU bleed on and open our isolation valve. And we are good to taxi. So we'll go ahead and release our brake. Looks like we're going to taxi to the left here. And then a right. And then we'll take taxiway Charlie all the way down to the terminals. So welcome to Phoenix. If you guys enjoyed that flight, let me know. That landing was pretty good. It was much better than the ILS landings I've been trying to do. Like I said, I still haven't quite figured out that Cat 3 landing, but only thing that I would say is I didn't get a minimums call out, and I believe that was because I went on radio instead of Barrow, because I've always gotten minimum call outs except for when I go on radio. So I think that's just how that works. So we're going to turn here. What's our caution? We can turn that off. And we're going to turn down here. And we'll follow this down to the terminals here. And we'll park at a gate. And we'll shut her down. Welcome to Phoenix. This is default scenery. I don't have any scenery for Phoenix. I don't think there is any available sceneries for Phoenix. But we'll go down to not this terminal here on the right. We're gonna go down to the next ones, and we'll park at a gate down there. And then we'll do our parking checks. Get our APU on. We'll get established on ground power. We'll see if we can get the jetway connected. And we'll get everybody off the plane. Although I didn't simulate putting anybody on the plane. I actually don't know how to do that. I know that there's a way. I saw it. Like, I saw how to do it. I just never tried it. So maybe I'll tinker around with that and start doing that in my videos too. But I'm very happy with that landing. You know, I'm glad I decided to hand fly it down instead of trying to let the ILS bring me down closer. Just follow our glide slope path right down and just land it right on the ground. I think we can go ahead and put that back up. So we're going to slow down. I think we're going to make... Yeah, we're going to make this next right here. We'll follow that taxi line over. Right here. We'll follow this one around. And we're not going to take this first one, we're going to take the second gate. So we'll skip past this one here. Slow it down a little bit. There we are, and we're going to pull in here. We'll get our taxi lights turned off. There we are. We'll pull forward just a little bit more. And about right there, we'll go ahead and stop it. Put our brake on, and we'll do our parking checks. So parking brake is on. We'll go to the overhead panel. Seatbelt signs can come off. No smoking can come off. APU generator switches can come on. 1, 2. We're now on our APU. We can go down here. We can toggle off our fuel. We'll shut the engines down. While that's happening, we'll jump in here. We'll go menu, FS actions, ground services. We'll call for, we'll set our chocks. We'll call for our ground power unit. Once that's connected, we'll get established on ground. I'll see if I can hit the jetway button and get the jetway over here as soon as this connects here, which it doesn't usually take long. I'm sure it'll be done here in a second. Come on, get connected. There we go. It might be set to stairs. Yep. All right. We'll request the jetway, which is working today. Beautiful. We'll go to the overhead panel here. We'll get established on our ground power. With that, we'll get our window heats off. We'll get our pitot heats off, or our pitot probe heats. Isolation valve, we'll set back to auto. APU bleed can come off. We can turn the APU off. We'll get our anti-collision lights off. We'll leave our wing lights on for now. Actually, no. Yeah, we'll leave it on. It doesn't matter. I think we can turn off that guy there. What else we gotta do? Emergency lights, fuel pumps can come off. Yaw damper can come off. And that's it. That is everything we need to do for our turnaround state, I believe. All right, well, welcome to Phoenix. If you guys enjoyed that, let me know, and I will see you guys on the next flight.